contender. I thought, oh, no one's going to be here. Octavius told me it was going to be quick. Octavius told me it was going to be quick today.
Yeah, I probably want to get through everything as quickly as I can. I imagine such the mayor and the mayor pro temp will take a couple minutes, even if it's just doing ceremony stuff. And then I know Mayor Wright wants to do a speech at the State of the City.
Yeah.
Wandered into the last prayer breakfast, and so I was able to talk to him for a couple minutes and hear about some.
Octavius always texts me everything that's going on, so it speeds me up in the neighborhood. So it's okay.
Second question.
Regarding my county municipalities thing for other
Yeah.
figure out which district I'm in. Good to know that.
I'm District 4.
I'm quite sure. I'm not going to say for sure.
Huh? Oh, it's right.
Call this meeting to order. Ask everyone to please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. My Boy Scout's going to lead us.
Everyone please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance by placing your right hand over your heart. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And if you wish to participate, the invocation will be done by Mr. Elliot Balsley.
Hi, I'm Elliot of the Satanic Temple of Southern California. I want to thank the council for giving me the opportunity to be here. Just real quick, for those who don't know, the mission of the Satanic Temple is to encourage benevolence and empathy, rejecting tyrannical authority, advocating practical common sense, opposing injustice, and undertaking noble pursuits. Let us stand now, unbowed and unfettered by arcane doctrines, born of fearful minds in darkened times. Let us embrace the Luciferian impulse to eat of the tree of knowledge and dissipate our blissful and comforting delusions of old. Let us demand that individuals be judged for their concrete actions, not their fealty to arbitrary social norms and illusory categorizations. Let us reason our solutions with agnosticism in all things, holding fast only to that which is demonstrably true. Let us stand firm against any and all arbitrary authority that threatens the personal sovereignty of one or all. That which will not bend must break, and that which can be destroyed by truth should never be spared its demise. It is done. Hail Satan.
Roll call.
Councilmember Klink.
I'm here.
Councilmember Mintz.
Here.
Councilmember Scott.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Buildering.
Here.
Mayor Wright.
Here.
All present.
Okay, no closed session. Any changes to the agenda? None. Announcements. These proceedings may be viewed on demand on the City of 29 Palms website at www.29palms.org. You may also live stream the meeting by going on our website and clicking on the meeting agendas link. The December 26, 23 regularly scheduled meeting of the City Council will be canceled due to the holidays. The next regularly scheduled meeting will be held on Tuesday, January 9th, 2024. Awards, presentations, appointments, and proclamations. Presentation to Semper Girls Softball Team for their participation in Cash for Trash and Recycling Program.
Come on up, team. What's our speaker at? Right here. Get the mic. First, before we start, we'll talk about what we did, right? All right. So, where did you clean up at?
We cleaned up along Morongo Road and the corner of Joshua Tree Drive.
How many bags you pick up?
We picked 24 bags and a load of large objects.
Large object. And we're doing this for community service, correct?
Yes, sir.
Where will we be donating this money to?
We'll be donating it half to the Morongo Basin Arch for the homeless and the other half to Palms and Paws Animal Shelter.
All right.
Before we get Mr. Rick Boyd up here, the city and Burtech wants to thank you for everything you've done, all the trash you picked up. A lot of you guys are out there in the morning picking up trash in your Crocs and pajamas, but we won't talk about that. All right. But you guys did a good job, and you guys are giving this back to the community, which that's what we're here for, right? Give back to our community. So thank you on behalf of Semper Fi Sports and the girls. They want to give half to make
Thank you very much.
Make sure the
girls.
puppies
This
get
goes a
off.
long ways, and thank you from the animals. It's really special.
Yeah. Well, the girls, here. Go hand it to over there. Stand over there. Get in the middle.
Thank you very much.
All right, next, we have a presentation for one of our TBID members, presentation to Ash Maharaj. I've been practicing this first name all night, and I still don't think I got it. Nalini Ash Maharaj. I got that right. That's what I'm talking about. TBID board member, in recognition of your years of hard work, public service, and the many commendable contributions to the city of 29 Palms and the Tourism Business Improvement District, your leadership, dedication, and commitment have left a positive, permanent mark on the community. October 1, 2017 to October 25, 2023. So thank you for your service.
Thank you, man.
to members of the council and the community, the city manager and the community manager and all staff. Thank you very much for this award, and I wish the TBID every success moving on into the future. It's a great organization, and it certainly helps the city and the community tremendously. Thank you.
All right, so now we got an introduction by the captain. I ain't practiced this name. Nali? Naji. All right.
Good evening, Mayor and members of the council. Thank you very much for having us tonight. First, before I introduce our canine, this is Deputy Nathan Bacher. If I start with the dog, then everybody forgets the rest. So, as you know, we have a little more than 50 deputy sheriffs at the Morongo Basin Station, several of whom are assigned to 29 Palms, and a huge chunk who would like to be considered to be the handler of Naji. So, with all that competition, Deputy Bacher was selected as the handler, so Deputy Bacher will be the handler for at least the first 5 years and beyond that if he chooses. So whenever you see Naji, you'll see Deputy Bacher and vice versa. This is his work partner. Naji is 11 months old. She's a bloodhound. I'd really like to thank the council and city staff. This was a tremendous lift. As you know, this was a combination with 29 Palms, the county, and the town of Yucca Valley, to get not only Naji, but the vehicle, the training, and then the ongoing expenses. So this really shows the collaboration of the Morongo Basin and our partnership specifically with 29 Palms. But this is Deputy Bacher, and this is Naji. So I don't know, would you like to say anything about Naji?
Good evening, Mayor, members of the council, and community of 29 Palms. I'm Deputy Bacher, as Captain Warwick already said. No one really cares about that as much. This is K9 Naji. She's an 11-month-old bloodhound. Again, I can reiterate on everything Captain Warwick said, but I just want to reach out and thank everybody for, this huge feat that we've had. K9 Naji is a lot of people think she's a cadaver dog. A lot of people think that she's a drug dog, that she's a gun dog, but this one's super special. She's one of the 3 bloodhounds in the county that actually tracks people. So with our national park and with the community, we always experience loss in some way, in that being with people. So her main job is to find those people and bring them back safely. And in the 2 months that we've been, I've been in Rancho, so a lot of you guys probably haven't seen me unless it was on social media, but we just cleared training in Rancho to kind of reiterate some of our training, and we're actually looking forward to coming back out into the community with you guys. So in the 2 months that we have been partners, we've had over 21 calls for services where we've been requested to utilize her, and in those 21, I think we've deployed about half of them, about 10 of them she's actually deployed, and we actually just got her first find a couple of weeks ago with a 10-year-old missing juvenile. So we're looking forward to serving you guys, and if you guys see us in town, please come up and say hello. She loves hellos. So, thank you guys.
Thank you. All right, Naji. Okay, next we have State of Joshua Tree National Park, presentation by Jane Rogers, the superintendent.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Thanks for the opportunity tonight. Thanks for everybody else. Good to see everybody in the community turning out. And I told Bobby we're also getting a dog at the park, but I don't think she'll be as cute as Naji, so. But we'll see. We'll see, maybe. Yeah. So tonight's a little bit of a smorgasbord from the park. Just wanted to provide an update, and I'd love to be able to come here, at least once a year and share kind of what's happening with the park and have an opportunity for any questions that y'all might have. Okay. Is Larry in charge? Okay, okay, I'm in good hands. So I just want to start out by acknowledging that most people know that the park and the communities have had increases in visitation over the last 5 years. And so it's been a really, really big difference, both for the park as well as our local communities. You can go to the next slide. So I just wanted to hit on a little bit about the crowds that we've seen over the last 7 or 8 years or so. And really it's been some of the biggest increase in visitation in the entire National Park Service. So we have 425 national park units across this country, and Joshua Tree is probably second to Bryce Canyon for the increase in visitation that's just been incredible the last 6 years in particular. Next slide. So some reasons for that, I'm sure a lot of people speculate, a lot of people ask me, like, why did it get so crazy popular here? And just a reminder, you know, we're 3 hours from about 23 million people, and the park has definitely become a celebrity national park in Southern California. Next slide, please. And a lot of folks speculate why. And certainly having a computer in your pocket has made a lot of the desert accessible. So some people talk about social media or popularization of the park through commercials or advertisements, and really I would argue that it's simply the access to information that's become so easy to know where to go, what the weather is, where to get a hotel room, where's a 5-star pizza place, whatever. All that stuff is just very easily accessible to the average person. Smartphones came out about 2010, and that's when you started to see an uptick in the popularity of Joshua Tree. Was around 2013. So back in 1996, when I started working here, I actually came here in 94, and we had around a little over 1 million visitors. And the Park Service was very much in control of managing our visitors and helping them trip plan and figure out when was the best time, you know, what do they need to do to come to the desert. And we had seasons. We actually had busy seasons then, but today we've got, you know, almost triple that amount of visitation. And we're not really in control of the information as much as park rangers used to be, and that's because there's just a ton of crowdsourced information out there that people have easy access to. So right now, our staff would kind of argue we sort of have year-round visitation, and it just blows my mind that people are coming and camping here in the summer. It doesn't matter that it's like 100 degrees in the park. It's just there's an available campsite, and so people come. Next slide. So a little bit of data. When we had this big surge in visitation, we really wanted to figure out, like, who are these people? What are they doing? What are they interested in? And there's some interesting stats here that day hiking has really increased in popularity. Almost all of our visitors are coming here to hike now, as opposed to just drive through the park and maybe take a couple pictures. A big change in stargazing. As you guys know, the park is an international dark sky park. And over the last 10 years, it's really become very, very popular to come here and go stargazing. And that's about half of our visitors now are saying that they come here to go look at the night skies. Camping is popular, and that's about also increasing the numbers of our visitors that are staying locally. And about 75% of our visitors stay overnight. So these are not just day users, they're actually spending quite a bit of time in the area. And then lastly, just folks probably know that we're a big destination for rock climbing, and that's stayed popular over the last 10 years. Next slide, please. So just what the park's been doing to react to this changing in conditions. You guys might remember that we had a shuttle program, we had a bus that kind of worked and it kind of didn't work. It's really important if you have a shuttle system to have a place for everybody to park their car, like a central parking lot, and that's not something we really have here. It works well for other park units like Zion or Grand Canyon. They have great shuttle bus systems, but I'm not sure we'll ever make that work here unless we have some significant infrastructure changes. Although we could benefit from a little shuttle that runs inside the park just from like parking lot to parking lot. So that's an idea that we might look at in the future. Next slide. Just a little bit about the economic impact of having a national park in your backyard. The Park Service puts out these economic reports every year. You can find them online. There's a web link there, or you could hit me up sometime or email Jotr, J-O-T-R, info@nps.gov, and we can get you that information. But in 2022, we had a little over 3 million people visiting the park and about $170 million in our local gateway regions contributing from that visitation. Next slide. I just want to hit on some projects we have going on. A lot of these have to do with the fees that we collect at the gates. So we're trying to put those, we do put those fees back into our infrastructure. Hopefully the city will be happy to hear that we have replaced and upgraded the irrigation system at the Oasis of Mara at our park headquarters. So that's been a long-standing issue and problem over the last decade or so. So that should be just wrapping up next week. The long-awaited West Entrance Station, hopefully we're going to award that contract next week, and we'll go into construction. That's the entrance station located just outside of the town of Joshua Tree. That's going to move about a third of a mile into the park and double the size of the entrance booth and double the size of the lanes going in and out. So hopefully we won't have traffic backed up into those neighborhoods and blocking people's driveways. We're looking to construct in the spring and probably into the summer. We're also updating our fire management plan. We really are looking at more aggressively fighting wildland fire here. That doesn't really have an ecological role in this landscape, and it's threatening our Joshua trees that are also stressed out from drought and increased temperatures. So looking to update our fire plan. And we also have a pretty active climate change response program. We're doing fuels projects in all the high elevation areas with Joshua trees to try to prevent the spread of wildland fire. This spring, I believe, we are going to be repaving the Indian Cove Road, which is really, really bad and lots of potholes, so excited to get that refreshed. And then lastly, we're replacing a lot of our driving tour exhibits in the park that you may have noticed are fading and really just need a dusting off and get some new information. I wanted to touch on the Perseids event that happened in August. I don't know if anybody heard about it or got caught in traffic. Yeah, that was so fun. It was so fun. It was really pretty dramatic and a little stressful for the staff and for a lot of the community. This was not something that the park promoted. We really tried to play it down. We really tried to redirect people, but unfortunately a lot of the news and information that was put out there advertised Joshua Tree as the only place in the country to see the Perseid meteor shower. Like you have to be standing in the national park in order to see meteors that are seen from, hundreds of miles away. So more education, more learning, more teaching about how to view the night sky and that these phenomena are viewable anywhere that has a good night sky. But we had a lot of learning lessons. We really need to staff up and be prepared for those kind of events in the future and use our incident command structure to help manage that. So that's a picture of the line of traffic coming out at West Entrance. But we had about 800 cars an hour coming through Cottonwood, which if you know Cottonwood, it's like our sleepy little entrance to the south, and that's an insane amount of cars per hour for that entrance. And then we had about 500 to 700 here in town and over at Joshua Tree. You can skip to the next slide. That's just our cars per hour. So again, just looking at being better prepared for that, working with the local communities. I would say, we're trying to put together a calendar that forecasts some of these events, these astronomical events or solar eclipse, lunar eclipse, meteor showers, any other kind of these events that people are attracted to, and try to plan ahead for those. Next slide. So just some partnerships and opportunities. As a new superintendent, I look forward to continuing with the City of 29 Palms, is again protecting and enhancing astrotourism. We look at the data and over half of our visitors really are here for the night skies. So really appreciate the lighting ordinance that the city has in place and in working with any developments in the area or existing communities to really protect our night skies. It's very simple to do if you just can shade your lighting or have it on a timer or motion detector. We're really looking to reduce fuels for wildland fires. Some of the landscaping that we really try to discourage or we would love to discourage is planting fountain grass. There's a picture of it. Here it's a pretty grass, but unfortunately it spreads into the park and is a fuel source for wildland fire. And appreciate all the reviews. I know I'm getting the permit reviews that we take a look at the park and respond to. I really appreciate the opportunity to comment. Looting is kind of on an uptick. We actually had one of our cacti specimens dug up at the park headquarters, like really very boldly. Like someone just came and dug it up. They were caught in the middle of digging it up, and then they took off, and then the next day it was gone. So, and their footprints matched. It was really sad. So just something to be aware of, something that we're really trying to keep an eye on and love more ears and eyes out there to help protect the park. And again, just reaffirming that we do have a city ordinance, I believe, about feeding wildlife. We're seeing a lot more bighorn sheep being drawn out of the park because people have water that they put out. And that's a little concerning. Just if I really would hate to see any more roadkill, like if we have an increase in roadkill, if we starting to get animals trying to cross the highway, that's got a lot of traffic on it. So just a concern that we have. And lastly, I think I'm just shamelessly promoting an app. If you're like me, I'm not really a big fan of apps because I have too many and they have passwords and it's kind of annoying. But the NPS app is a really good app if you can promote that through your tourism or businesses. It's really the one-stop shop for the trail maps that we have. You can use it without cell coverage. You don't have to have a cell tower to use it. You can use it offline in the park. And it's a good way to get alerts out if we have a wildland fire or an emergency response, lapse in appropriations, things like that. That this can pop up on your app as a good little information. And I think that might be it. Yeah, you could go back to the slide before if you don't mind, Larry. Okay, you can just leave it there. So I don't know if the council has any questions, but I'd certainly, if you have any questions.
Any questions? Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah. All right, next we got presentation of the city's annual comprehensive financial report.
Oh, okay, so I think he's gonna have to, yeah, that's true. Well, good evening, Mayor and members of the council. As the mayor said, tonight in front of you is the annual comprehensive financial report for the fiscal year ended June 30, 2023. If you could go to the next slide, please.
Different way here. Next.
You just have to scroll down. Okay. So before we dive into this presentation, I would like to note that we made a couple of revisions to the original report printed, and it's just mainly updating the city manager's information with our current interim city manager. So on page 1 of the transmittal letter, we updated the city's letterhead with Larry's information. On page 4 of the transmittal letter, we updated Larry's signature, and on page 6 of the organizational chart, we updated that chart to reflect all of active employees. Next slide, please. So the city, just to give you a little bit of background on this, the city is required to have an annual financial statement audit. The audit is the audit for the fiscal year 2023 was conducted by the independent auditors, Rogers, Anderson, Mallory, and Scott, which I'll be referring to as RUMS for the remaining presentation. And this was a citywide audit, meaning all of the funds that the city currently has were audited, and that includes the general fund, 12 special funds, 4 capital project funds, 1 enterprise fund, and 1 fiduciary fund. Next slide, please. I'm happy to report that that we concluded the fiscal year with a strong financial position. The general fund balance increased by $968,000, and that's mainly due to higher sales tax and property tax revenues compared to prior year. Next slide, please. On this slide, we'll see, I just have a comparison of our top 6 revenues, our actuals versus our budget. As you can see, the TOT, we were very conservative in our budget because we didn't know how, the rising inflation and talks of recession was going to affect our TOT. So it actually, our actuals were actually $2.3 million compared to our 1.8 budgeted amount. Next slide, please. So at the end of the fiscal year, the total fund balance of the general fund was $11.6 million. Of that total, $9 million was unrestricted, and that represents 79% of the general fund's total expenditures. Next slide, please. So as you recall, we recently updated, not recently, but back in June, council approved the reduction of our reserve policy from 60 to 65% to 50 to 55%. In this current fiscal year, we're at 79%. We're projecting that in 23-24, we're going to be at 63%. And if you can see, we're not using our reserves. What's affecting that percentage is the expenditures that we have in a given fiscal year. Next slide, please. So that concludes my presentation, and now I'm going to hand it over to Brad Williver. He's the audit partner at RAMS. He's going to go in more detail about the audit results. Brad?
Thank you, Abigail. Just a quick sound check.
Yes, yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you. It's nice to be with you tonight, members of the City Council. My name is Brad Welliver, and I am the engagement partner on the independent audit of the city for the fiscal year ended June 30, 23. And I am joined by my colleague, Laura Arvizu, who is the engagement manager on this project. We did meet with 2 members of the City Council in a committee session on December 4 and spent approximately an hour going more detailed over the audit report and the audit opinion letters and providing more insight into the audit process and answering any questions that they had. So if those members want to share anything, they're welcome to. And in addition, as Abigail said, we issued an unmodified opinion, which is the highest level of assurance that independent auditors can provide over the financial statements. And we also issued our report over internal controls and compliance. And in that report, we noted that there were no deficiencies that needed to be reported in accordance with government auditing standards, and no matters of non-compliance were noted that also need to be reported. So that's great news for the city. We also issued a letter that indicated that we did not have any uncorrected misstatements, no difficulties working with the city, no disagreements with management, and some other relevant details, just pointing out some key items about the report. But it's essentially all the types of reports that you would want to receive at your city, and a high level of assurance. And I do also want to mention that the city did receive the Government Finance Officers Award for Excellence in Financial Reporting for the previous fiscal year ended June 30, 22, and that's included in your 23 annual report, and they will be submitting again for the 2023 award, and all things considered, we believe that they will qualify and receive the award for that for your ACFR report, which is excellent and shows that the city has put in quite an effort into being transparent and providing as much information as they can out to the constituents. Back to you, Abigail.
Thank you, Brad. Does council have any questions?
Any questions for staff? Thank you. I still get flashbacks, so thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Brad.
Thank you.
I'm going to do this from here, right, Larry? Next one I'm doing from here. All right, next we're going to have the Mayor Wright's presentation of the State of the City address. Y'all know me. I've been doing it all year long. I wrote it all down, so let's get ready. All right. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for coming to tonight's City Council meeting. It has been a true privilege and a pleasure serving as mayor this year. While I won't be serving as mayor, I still have 3 years left on the council, which I'm excited about serving. We still have much work to do. As I reflect on the past year, I am amazed at how fast these 12 months have flown by. It truly seems as if it were only a few months since I took office. I met so many interesting people. I was given the opportunity to share in a great deal of worthwhile events and worthy causes. I learned very much about what lies in other people's hearts and how they were able to bring their dreams and aspirations to fruition. I was continually and pleasantly surprised at the human spirit and all the resiliency of what is contained within the precious human soul. I could talk about all this for the next few hours and still not cover everything and everyone who profoundly touched and taught me. Don't worry, I won't be that long. If I had to choose only one thing which I want to impart on each of you, it is this. We are really not that different. We might look a little bit different, color, shape, size. We might sound a little bit different, region of the United States, or even an accent from another country. We might have a different perspective or ideas. That being said, we are more alike than we are different. We all laugh, we all cry, we all hurt, we all smile, we all hope, we all love, we all dream, we all want to be safe, we all want the best for our loved ones. Me and you, we're really not that different. My prayer is that we are always mindful of the important things which unite us and not divide us. We remember we are all God's beloved children and we are all loved. 1 John 3:2. Beloved, we are God's children now, and what we will be has not yet appeared. But we know that when he appears, we shall be like him, because we shall see him as he is. My vision for 29 Palms, my home, my community, is that we will continue to thrive, grow, work together, and make this beautiful city the gem in the desert and the shining city on the hill. Matthew 5:14-15. You are the light of the world. A city on a hill cannot be hidden. Neither do people light a lamp and put it under a basket. Instead, they set it on a lampstand, and it gives light to everyone in the house. That describes the city of 29 Palms and its amazing citizens. It was a busy year with new projects, initiatives being introduced, and other projects coming to completion or continue to move steadily forward. The progress we have experienced as a city during 2023 has been amazing. I will be specifically reviewing some of these accomplishments. The culinary kitchen located in Freedom Plaza opened in February 2023. Both Morongo Unified School District and Copper Mountain College are utilizing this facility to enhance their culinary class curriculum for the betterment of their students. During 2023, myself and other members of City Council traveled to Sacramento several times to meet with Senator Rosely Ochoa Bogue. Because of redistricting, 29 Palms is now in a new state senatorial district, but presently does not have a state senator representing us. We were able to make liaison and forge a cordial relationship in preparation for when 29 Palms has a representative senator. The meetings went very well and were productive. We also met with Assemblyman Tom Lackey. Again, the meetings were fruitful and pleasant. In 2023, saw many ribbon cutting ceremonies, additional businesses and revenues came to 29 Palms through all of the new businesses who decided to make our city their new home. As we continue to partner with the Marine base, we participated in the Armed Services YMCA. The city presented certificates to both the Marine of the Quarter and the NCO of the Quarter for all 4 quarters of 2023. We welcome a new commanding general and a new sergeant major to the combat center and our local community. In continued partnership with the base, the city participated in numerous events in conjunction with the combat center. There were many projects endeavored for the betterment of our citizens. Some highlights are: we finished a complete redo of the pool at Lucky Park. And to ensure the new pool was swim worthy, I personally tested out the slide. Safe to say, it held me up and I was able to splash down without any incident. Yep, I made a big splash, but I can report the slide is ready. The channel trail between Split Rock Avenue and Adobe Road was open to the public. This trail is a safe and centrally located walkway for people to stroll, enjoy our beautiful weather, and is close to downtown shops and businesses. A full-time detective was added by the San Bernardino the Sheriff's Department for the dedicated services of 29 Palms. 2023 saw various holiday celebrations and recognitions. The city placed a wreath on the 29 Palms Cemetery on Memorial Day in honor of the many veterans who served our country. A flag was raised at Freedom Plaza for Juneteenth in recognition of the holiday, and an event followed at Knott Sky Park as a continuing celebration commemorating the emancipation of all enslaved people of the United States. We enjoyed July 4th fireworks and family-friendly events at Knott Sky Park. There was a lot of great food available for all to enjoy. And as a point of record, I personally visited every booth and ate from all of them. And as I recall, everything was delicious, and I only had to open my belt 2 more loops when I was done eating. I want to formally thank and express the city's appreciation to the 29 Palms Band of Mission Indians for providing an awesome light show and fireworks, which everyone enjoyed. I had the fun privilege of firing the opening shot pistol for the annual bike race, the JT55, starting at Knott Sky Park and winding the way through the national park, with the race ending back at Knott Sky Park. 2023 saw the 87th year for the Pioneer Day celebration and events, and everyone enjoyed the annual Pioneer Day parade. And if you was there, you would see I had an entourage with me, so it was good. I attended the sunrise service on the last day as part of the ending invocation and prayers to ask for continued blessing and protection for our city and its citizens. Council members attended the annual United States Marine Corps birthday pageant at the parade deck aboard the Marine base. Attendees were treated to pageantry and display highlighting the 248th Marine Corps birthday. This year's Veterans Day program was hosted by 29 Palms. We commemorated and memorialized all the brave veterans who selflessly served our country. I had lots of fun participating in Grilling with the Mayor, and we did the last one tonight. I was able to meet and talk with citizens one-on-one in a relaxed and delicious venue. Your mayor grilled at these events held throughout the year, and I did not start any fires because actually Eli did all the hard work. So we are pleased to say the city provided local lodging for our homeless population during extreme inclement weather. We ensured over 100 people were afforded a safe and comfortable place to stay during the most extreme days and nights. I also attended the Mayor's Roundtable meeting in Fontana. The purpose was to exchange ideas about our homeless situation in San Bernardino County and to meet the HUD Regional Administrator, Jason Pugh. The city hosted the Hilltoppers as they brought over 1,000 dirt bike riders and participants to 29 Palms. We were presented with the keys to the track and thoroughly enjoyed watching the races and the tour. The city worked closely with Congressman Jay Obernolte to secure funding for continued study of the sewer project. With his intervention and assistance, he has earmarked more than $2 million to help defer costs. I had the privilege of partnering with Morongo Unified School District on several occasions. First, I got to be principal for a day. It was a fun day interacting with the school children. I'm happy to report I didn't give anybody detention. I also had the distinct privilege of hosting some of the school district special needs students. I was amazed, humbled, and delighted with these wonderful students. They were insightful, clever, and genuinely an uninhibited breath of fresh air. My love in working with youth was furthered by serving as athletic director of the 29 Palms Warhawks youth football program. These young athletes are a fine example of sportsmanship, drive to excel, and cooperation. One final note, we lost some very special people in 2023, and I want to point out 2 of them. I would like to remember Greg Mendoza, who served on the 29 Palms Planning Commission for many years. And on a personal note, I would like to remember my adoptive mom, Josephine Bizarro, who at one time was the oldest living person in 29 Palms at 101 plus. She was a great cook and a wonderful mom. I will miss her love and her cooking most of all. Mom, I love you. See you on the other side. This year was met with many challenges, and God saw me through them all. I give all thanks and acknowledgement to my Heavenly Father for his continued guidance, protection, and love. May 2024 be a blessed year for all of us. I like to end with a quote from the book of Hebrews chapter 10, verse 24 and 25. And let us consider how we may spur one another on toward love and good deeds, not giving up meeting together as some are in the habit of doing, but encouraging one another, and all the more as you see the day approaching. God bless you all. All right. Now I got my next on the agenda is my comments on outgoing mayor and presentation of Employee of the Quarter and Mayor's Recognition Award. So I'm going to start here and then I'm going to finish down there. I trust you've relished the captivating events that unfolded in the past year and are eager for what lies ahead in 2024. As I reflect on the privilege of serving as mayor of 29 Palms in 2023, my heart overflows with gratitude. A heartfelt thank you extends to my incredible wife, Miss Alfreda Wright, whose unwavering support has been my anchor throughout our 38 years together. Love you. To my mom and dad, who I know are watching, and my older little sister and her family, I love you guys. Thank you for your support. To my children, grandchildren, and all who regard me as father or godfather figure, your love and support have been invaluable. A special mention goes to my youngest, Drayson. Your presence fills my heart with joy. Love you, man. Sincere appreciation extends to the constituents and friends who have been an integral part of this journey. Pastor TK and Jerry Washington of the Gospel Fellowship, your support and prayers have been a source of strength. Gratitude also to the ministries in 29 Palms and Wonder Valley for their unwavering dedication and prayers. A heartfelt thank you to Pop Thomas for his wisdom and guidance, and to Mama Wanda for her love and delicious food. Y'all notice I hang around people that can cook, right? My gratitude extends to my fellow council members and to the expert staff of the city, whose professionalism has been instrumental. Thank you, guys. Thanks to the collaborative efforts of the city council, city staff, and the entire community, we have successfully executed policies for the betterment of our citizens. Our community, comprised of elected officials, appointed staff, and caring citizens, has consistently demonstrated its ability to achieve greatness together. In the words of Helen Keller, optimism is the faith that leads to achievement. Nothing can be done without hope and confidence. I'm optimistic that the coming year will surpass the achievements of 2023. Psalm 46 beautifully encapsulates my vision of 29 Palms, our gem in the desert. It says, there's a river whose stream make glad the city of God, the holy dwelling places of the Most High. God is in the midst of her. She will not be moved. God will help her when morning dawns. I extend my heartfelt gratitude to all, and may God bless each one of you and your families. Now, turning our attention All right. So now, turning our attention to the remarkable individuals who have made significant contributions to our community, I am honored to recognize Mr. Rick Boyd as the Employee of the Year. Rick, who oversees our animal shelter, has consistently delivered exceptional results with limited resources. Thank you, Rick, for an outstanding dedication and a job well done. Greatly appreciated. So, we got to take a picture first.
Take a picture?
Yeah, we got to take a picture first. Oh, okay. I was getting ready to give you the wrong one. This one's yours.
Is that one mine?
Yeah, this one's yours right here. Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, you
Thank
got
What
it,
an
right?
honor. What an honor. Yeah, I want to thank you, Mayor Wright. You know, it's an honor. I've been with the city for 27 years. Wouldn't change it for anything else. You know, it's
what we do for the community. You know, I love this community. I love the animals. I love helping the people in this community with their animals issues, if there is issues. Finding them all good homes, you know. We adopt out 40, 50 a month, like you probably heard on Z1077. But yeah, we do really good, man. And I really love what I do and where I work. And I love our community. You know, it's like a big family. You know, people could call me, you know, there's no press 1 for this, press 2. You want to talk, I'll go to your house. You know, what's your address? You know, and a lot of people know I'll just go to your house. So, yeah, you know, this is a real honor. Thank you very much. Thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm gonna have trust issues because I was told I was supposed to be here to give you guys an update on. Trust issues. Thanks, guys.
All right, next, the Mayor's Recognition Award is bestowed upon a citizen whose selfless contributions have left an indelible mark on our city. This year, the award goes to my friend, Pastor Nick Foley. Set Free Ministries. Pastor Foley's impactful work is driven by love, and his commitment to our community is truly commendable.
Well, man, I haven't been in this city, in this community too long, but I'm in love. I'm in love with this community. I'm in love with the people. I just want to serve. I just want to be a part of, and meeting Mayor Mack and his family, and just meeting people in this community. I'm from Needles, and we made a big impact, and I was really in with the community there. And when I left there, it hurt me. It took a piece of my heart, man, because I got involved and I served and I got to know everybody out there. But it's happening so fast out here, and I'm desiring just to be a part of serving you guys. And so we will help and love in any way we can, any way it looks. And I am committed and dedicated to the city, for the homelessness, for the work, for help, for whatever. There ain't nothing that we won't do to help someone. Thank you.
All right, thank you all for your continued support, and may our city thrive with the spirit of collaboration and dedication. God bless you all. All right. Council comments and reports of meetings attended. Councilmember Scott.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This month I attended the Mayor and Mayor Pro Tem golf tournament, ribbon cutting ceremony at Winging It, ribbon cutting ceremony at Very at Corner 62, coffee with Assemblyman Tom Lackey, and also attended a youth flag football game, employee appreciation dinner or lunch. I met with several business owners. I met with several constituents. I also attended the light parade and tree lighting festival. And Mr. Mayor, I just want to say thank you for your service as the mayor for the last year. I appreciate working with you, and I hope to have a good working relationship moving forward.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Let's see. Yes, I also attended the tree lighting ceremony and the light parade. It was a great turnout. Lots of people, lots of kids out there. They really loved the whole event. Went to the ribbon cutting at Wing It. Got some wings before I left. Went to the ribbon cutting at Very in the Corner 62. If you're looking for some special gifts for Christmas, you ought to stop by there. They have a very special shop there. I attended the Marine Corps Ball, sat with the Sergeant Major, and then, let's see. I went to the Mayor's tournament this year. First year I didn't get to play in it. but I did go in the beginning, but that's because I had to work. Our center hosted the USBC BVL, which is the Bowlers Veterans League, which is in the whole Southern California. And we brought people from all over, from Riverside and San Bernardino County, came to 29 Palms, participated, and a lot of those folks that I spoke to have never been to 29 Palms, so that was good for the city. This last weekend, it was very cold up there, but I helped park cars at the Sky's Limit, and as the superintendent was talking about people come for the Sky's, there's a lot of folks that come from Los Angeles, but they also come from Utah, Washington, Montana, Louisiana, Arizona. These are the ones that signed up to go there this last weekend. North Carolina, Illinois, Ohio, Texas, and Kentucky. And obviously a bunch of the folks that were there were from the LA area. There was over 30 cars that came into the place with anywhere from 2 to 7 people in each one of those cars. So to go up there when it was about 40 degrees and to stay out there and listen to those astronomers is pretty amazing that they do this. But it's about the night sky. And again, Sky's Limit does a great job helping with tourism in the city and bringing folks here. And then congratulations, Rick, on, I think he left already. He's already gone. And Mr. Mayor, thank you so much for your leadership this whole year, and looking forward to the rest of the 3 years. Thanks.
Mr. Klink.
Thank you, Mayor. First of all, anybody out there in the audience celebrating a birthday this month? Can you stand? Anybody? Ah. I'm not going to sing, but I'm going to wish you all a very happy birthday, and remember the reason for the season is the birth of Jesus. So everybody in the Morongo Basin and 29 Palms, definitely happy birthday. Thank you. So I'd like to congratulate Rick as well. Great job. Keep it up. You're retiring soon? No, I'm just kidding. And Pastor, thank you. We look forward to working with you more often, and welcome to 29 Palms. I attended the light parade and tree lighting. I went to the ribbon cutting for Very Very and also Wingin' It. I golfed in the tourney with the mayor. We didn't even keep score because I don't think the number would fit on the little squares that they give you. I attended the employee appreciation lunch, and I do want to thank the Semper-fied young ladies for giving back to the community by helping make our community beautiful and also turning around and donating that money to 2 well-deserved organizations. So thank you very much. We appreciate it. And then now, since I am known as the singing mayor, I wish you a Merry Christmas, I wish you a Merry Christmas, I wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Thank you, Mayor. Appreciate all that you did for the city this year and look forward to working with you some more.
Thank you. Mr. Mayor Pro Tem.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I attended the Marine Corps Ball, the light parade. I participated in that, tree lighting ceremony, a ribbon cutting ceremony, Very Very. What else did I do? Winging It, got wings too on my way out. Let's see, I did the audit meeting with some developers, employee appreciation luncheon. I also participated, I guess that's a really loose word, in the golf tournament. I actually just drove the course looking for like Easter egg hunt out there. So I donated a lot of balls to the range. I think they'll find them later. What else did I do? Congratulations to Rick, well deserved. Pastor, thank you for everything you're doing. I know you continue to do great things for us in 2024. And Mr. Mayor, thank you for your leadership the last year. It was challenging, but you made it look easier. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, so I did attend the Marine Corps Ball as well. I did the employee appreciation luncheon that we had and presented some awards and things like that. And then I did, okay, let me go over here. We did me and Larry did the Up Close show last Friday on Z107.7. If you didn't catch it, it's pretty good. He tried to get us, but we was ready, so. And then we did I stopped in at the coffee with Assemblymember Lackey, but I couldn't stay because we was playing flag football, and he actually came out and watched the flag football game and took a picture with two of the teams, so that was good. And then we did a ribbon cutting at Very Very and also Winging It. I took me some wings too, and I actually went back Sunday and got me some smothered pork chops. They was good too. And then we did the mayor's golf tournament, and we realized that it's hole number 8. For those of you that don't know, one year I actually got hit, and it was on hole number 8. And this year, when we got to hole number 8, a ball came pretty close. But I had my helmet on this time, so we was good. I was ready. So just got to watch hole number 8. And then also the light parade. We did the light parade and the tree lighting. It was fantastic. I really appreciate the citizens' participation. The entries that were in there were fantastic, outstanding. And then, you know, just all of us coming together to light that Christmas tree. I mean, we was counting down in unison, and it was just fantastic. It did my heart great. So thank you for that. And then also want to remind everyone about the mayor's toy giveaway. That's the reason we do the golf tournament, is so that we can get money to get toys to give away to our community. And we're going to be doing that Thursday, December 14th, right at Freedom Plaza from 4 to 6. So come out. And the only requirement is that you show proof that you're a 29-pound resident. That's the only requirement. Come out and get a toy for your kid. So, all right? And yeah, I think that's it. I covered everything. All right. Consent calendar. All matters listed on the consent calendar are to be considered routine by the city council and will be enacted by one motion in the form listed. Any item may be removed from the consent calendar and considered separately by the city council. The public will be given an opportunity to comment on consent calendar items prior to the city council action. Anybody want to pull an item? Okay. Open to the public. Anybody got any comments on the consent calendar? Bring it back. Looking for a motion.
I'll move this consent calendar.
Second.
Roll call. Davis.
Councilmember Klink.
Aye.
Councilmember Scott.
Aye.
Councilmember Mintz.
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Buildering.
Aye.
Mayor Wright.
Aye.
Approved 5-0.
Okay. No items were removed. Public hearing is none. Discussion, potential action item. Selection of mayor and mayor pro tem.
That's me, yes. Mayor and council members, a little bit of background. When the city incorporated in November of 1987, the original city council developed a selection procedure for the mayor and mayor pro tem seats, and that would provide stability to the city council and allow for orderly succession. This selection procedure was adopted by the council, and the order of succession was determined by the number of votes received in the elections. Since the mayor and mayor pro tem change annually, as the mayor pro tem ascends into the mayor's seat, the individual who received the next highest votes became the mayor pro tem. As was indicated earlier, this system allowed for an orderly succession of city council members. Notwithstanding the above-mentioned procedure, the city council voted at the regularly scheduled meeting on May 9th, 2023, to go with a succession of districts in choosing the mayor and mayor pro tem, beginning with District 5 in 2023, who was Mayor Wright, then go to District 1, Mayor Pro Tem Buildering, then 2, and so on. So at this time, we have the Mayor Pro Tem Buildering going into the mayor's seat, and the next one would be Councilmember Klink. So if all is in favor, we can vote and go with this procedure.
All right. Everybody in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
So we got to do roll call vote?
We can do votes void if everybody's in agreement.
Yeah, let's do roll call.
Okay.
So they don't say nothing.
Councilmember Scott.
Aye.
Councilmember Klink.
Aye.
Councilmember Mintz.
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Buildering.
Aye.
Mayor Wright.
Aye.
I now present
And-
Mayor Buildering and Mayor Pro Tem Klink.
And we switch seats now, right?
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Well, no, we're not going to do that. Actually, it should have been him there. So when we come back to the next meeting, Councilmember Scott will move into Mintz's seat. Councilmember Mintz will move there. Well, no, I'm sorry. Mac will move here, then Scott, then Mintz, Joel, and okay? All right.
Got it. I just look for my name tape.
All right, well, dang, start this, right? Yeah, you guys set me up for success by sewer, the first one, huh? Good job. Imagine that. All right. And before we go on to that, I want to thank the council and staff for having recommendation trusting me to take the helm. So thank you for that, and we'll get into more. Let's get down to business. There's people out there that want to get out of here, so I get it. Don't go long. We don't need a history lesson on this. We just get right where we're trying to talk about.
I'm not going to go long.
Yeah.
I will say that, you know, while a lot of this was going on, I was on the couch eating popcorn. So
well, let's just pick up.
I've put in a lot of research and work in the last couple of weeks. I'm telling you, and to start with. When this first started, figures of $170 million were thrown around out there for the possible sewage plant or WWTT or treatment facility. And then in, I think it was July, they came out and said, oh, you're not going to be able to get more than a maximum of $75 million. And then when it came down to our meeting the other day, we just got notified that we were allocated, if we accepted the grant, $50 million from the state. And $1 million of that was deducted because that went towards the planning that we do have now and that is in the books. So City Council asked that we come back with how much it would be for site 1, 2, 3, and 4, and what would be the cost to operate it during a year. So the consultants informed me that site number 4 there's no sense to even look at it. It's 9 miles out, and they could do absolutely nothing with that. But they did come up with a site plan, 1, 2, and 3 right there. This one is the original one that no one really liked at Desert Knoll, just off of it. 1,200 feet away is site 2. Site 3 is about 1.5 miles from site 1. So the consultants were given a $52 million or a $49 million budget. They went into you have 2 different consultants. NV5 does the underground, the trenching, the laterals, the hookups to the septic. Carollo, they are the plant builders. So they came up with 3 different options. And the way that they made them each come out at $52 million, which is $3 million over the $49 million, was they just cut them down into smaller sizes the further they had to reach. And that's, as you can tell, here's Adobe Road right in here. Let me get my glasses on and be sure. Yep, this is Adobe Road right in here, and there's Cactus, and there's Project Phoenix. Then this is over at the Palladium. So everybody has an idea where this is. So red goes, whoop. And I have a hard time with this. I call it dark yellow and light yellow. But you see light yellow is the 3, dark yellow is the 2, and red encompasses 1. So what they did by this is they came up with site flows for the different alternatives. And one of the things about it is, to start with, our plant was 900,000 gallons a day. With a new plant and what we could afford, It's 0.15, which is only 150,000 gallons per day, which is, leaves little room for any kind of future growth. And their undergrounding, there was approximately 24.5 million. And here's a kicker. That excludes the cost for full lane or full road width grinds and overlays, sewer easements, private sewer systems other than the lateral, and construction management and inspections. So, there was the price to build the plant is $27,543,960, and they got the 22 cents in there. And if I failed to mention on this one, their quote was 24.5, which comes up to 52 million. So, summary of cost is right there. Back to the staff report. So the consultants, they reduced it, like I said. I told you about the water. It has to be completed by the end of 2026 per the state of California. Their rough estimate is 52 million. That includes the treatment plant, the trunk lines, laterals, connections, and determining how many actual connections will be made. But that would be on the selection of the site preference if you have one. The state does require a minimum of 383 septic to sewer connections if we accept the 49 million. The number of connections depend on which option is selected. The consultant report has in Site 1, which is the largest, 437 connections. Site 2 has 420 connections, and Site 3 has 394 connections in their scope of work. And by lowering the amount of connections because of how they reduce the footprint in the housing areas to extend it further out is how they come up with 52 million for each one of them. The consultants' estimates do not include the things that were listed before in their statement, and these are some of the things that I have a background in construction, commercial buildings, hundreds of houses, so I have an idea about some of these things, but I also had a guideline. And one of the things that's one of the biggest parts is you have to have a project managing company. And usually that is a minimum of 15%, and that's usually 15% is based on the overall everything, all inclusive that you spent from A to the end. But I only based it off of the 52 million, so there's an additional $7.8 million, and I say that's based only on the hard cost there. A full-time inspector on site every day. He does work inspections, safety inspection, oversees deliveries, be sure everything's made where it's supposed to be made because it is a federal project or state project. Interview all contractors, employees, and be sure the contractors are in compliance with prevailing wage requirements. I based $197,000 per year, and that's at $95 an hour with the benefits, exactly what we pay our consultant engineers here. Tribal inspectors, we're digging over 10 miles in the dirt, so I figure each year that'll be similar to an inspector, $197,000. Road overlays, after I made the staff report at $2 million per year, I have been informed that maybe I should have talked to Craig a little bit deeper because they said 1-inch overlay, so I went with that. Well, actually, all of our roads are 3-inch overlays, so that price per year will probably double. No, it will double, and he said possibly more. I even asked the engineer, and he confirmed that. According to the consultants, you should add a CPI of 10% every year. I only added 1 year at 6.2 million because I don't think you can adequately predict what the second year will be. So with that, and only 1 year for the inspectors because it's a 2 to 2.5 year job, 1 year of CPI, the total estimated cost for construction is $70,800,000. The next thing, operating costs for the treatment plant. It was a little more difficult to really come up with a great estimate. We contacted multiple small communities, And we ended up with Grass Valley, Needles, Yucca Valley, and Groveland Community Services District, where I can't even tell you where that is. These locations were selected based on their plant size, their population, and their similarness to 29 Palms. Needles operates the smallest plant of the 4 of these, and they have 3 staff members, and theirs is $1.3 million. All of these systems are being subsidized in one way or another. Sales tax, pretty large sales tax, and Yucca is $2.5 million towards theirs. Impact fees and grant funds. Based on these numbers, it is estimated that each resident connected to the proposed sewer system here in 29 Palms would have an annual maintenance cost of, based on the sites, which would, it goes up as the site moves away because there's less people connected to it. $2,974 in site 1, $3,095 on site 2, and $3,300 on site 3. And like I said, these are based on numbers that have no subsidies at all on that. Alternatives, the city council could choose to accept the $49 million, select a site and move forward, choose to not accept the $49 million. If the council chooses not to continue, they could direct staff to look into a USGS study, which there is possibly a grant for, and or it is $1.1 million, and dealing and talking with the water district, they have said that they will would be a part of this with like $100,000 to cover that .1. We're looking at $1 million grant. I can't tell you that we have it at this time. And or request staff to develop and seek grants for a septic tank maintenance program, which means we have people have their septic tanks inspected, certified that they're in great working order and pumped, and then they're kind of on a schedule in a 5 to 7 year plan. It depends on what the tank looks like. Any questions?
Right, when you talk about go down a little bit on this, when you talked about the 1.3, that's the total operating cost, not just the employees, that's
Right,
basically
yeah, theirs is the smallest of them all. That's why we went with that one, just because ours would be small if we did it.
Okay.
And that's what I mean. I looked into Yucca. Money comes from all over the place for the Yucca septic system. You can't follow it. It's directed to where they're putting it or using it. This one, they told us this is their operating cost.
Yeah.
So
well, that's what I wanted.
If theirs comes and goes from different places, I don't know it.
Right. Well, no, I wanted what it was actually going to cost the citizens per month, and you gave me what it cost a year. I can figure that out. So.
Right.
All right. Thank you.
Divided by 12.
Well,
I should have done that for you.
Larry, I know how to do that.
Yeah, I see here in the report that for the operation cost, it could be subsidized by sales tax, impact fees, and grant funds. But the actual construction of the plant is going to be $70 million, so we're short. How would we come up with that money?
Good question, Councilmember Scott. I could research that. I could see if I was told by one of our lobbyists that they're pretty sure they could come up with another $1 million next year. Well, that's what I said. I told you I came in late on this. I don't understand the dynamics of the whole situation. I don't even know who I turned to. I'll tell you the truth, Matt Schrag was one of the most helpful people I dealt with at the Water District. So I can learn. I get on the phone. I figured out quite a few things on this. I learned some, I could almost talk sewer system words.
Yeah.
So.
No, I really appreciate your hard work on this. I know it could be challenging coming in late at the game, but you did a really good job articulating just the overall picture of this project. And I also want to thank the general manager of the Water District, members of the Wastewater Board as well for their work. And, the numbers are here, and it's time to make a decision on it.
I would like to point out that the people that work for the state of California are pretty awesome people. They bent over backwards to talk to me and they figured out that they had to change a little bit of terminology when they spoke with me. And Abigail, our finance director, because we were pushed hard to get this planning done by the November 30th, if we wanted to get it reimbursed, she has happened to keep pressing and pressing on the consultants to get it in. Then she has to prepare everything and get it into the state so that they will reimburse it. And everything came down on schedule. And I probably shouldn't say that she was even sick during the time that she was doing this. And she made it all happen. It was pretty impressive. So.
Thank you for that, sir.
Before we call people up and read this one, for the minutes. All right. Here we go.
Which one are you doing?
The one about the wastewater.
The name?
That's
Monopolis?
It's a minute.
I'm gonna read slowly. All right, here we go. Dear City Council. Just talking out loud. Dear City Council, regarding the wastewater treatment project, the city was granted $50 million in funding from the state for the project. As much as the city and the state received, of which $49 million is remaining. According to the staff report on the subject, all three of these sites being considered contain greater than the minimum number of 383 septic to sewer conversions required by the state. Therefore, any of the sites would be satisfactory for as far as the state is considered. Although there's legitimate scientific arguments against the necessities of a sewer system in the central part of the city, the state of California can mandate that the cities convert septic to sewer despite the lack of necessity. If the city does not accept the gift of $49 million more dollars from the state and move forward with this project, they will be making a serious mistake. The reason is that it is almost certain that the state will mandate the conversion to septic to sewer sometime in the near future, forcing the city to move forward, as they did recently in Yucca Valley, but without any guarantee of help from the state to fund it. This would place a much greater burden on the city in the future than it does today. An opportunity that is not taken could be considered irresponsible. The city council should choose to accept the $49 million, select the site, and move forward. Thank you for your consideration. Respectfully, George Monopolis. Okay, no particular order. Joseph Carter. No slides or billboards this time, huh?
No. Welcome, Mayor Bill Durain. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I just want to say that, first off, what that person just said is not true. The septic to sewer bill that the state of California passed, that is what they would have to use to give us a mandate if there was any such thing. And it's a very long bill with all kinds of odious regulations and all kinds of hoops that they have to go through to even give us a mandate. It's not like they can come along and just slap us with one. That's ridiculous. If they did decide that our water was under threat, that same bill mandates that they help us out and give us grants. As a matter of fact, this very grant, the septic to sewer grant, comes from that bill, and if they gave us a mandate, they would have to give us a grant to help us hook up our sewer. So that's not a thing. $250 a month is about what that utility comes out to, the cheapest one, and that's just ridiculous. There's no way that we could bear that. Even if you gave us subsidies to take it down to $100 a month, that's just silly. And on top of that, we don't know how much it's actually going to cost. You did a really good job, Larry, trying to figure it out. Is the best the best I would have done is the same thing I would have done, but it's not a real number. No offense, but we don't have an actual official number to know that it's going to be $247 a month. If you start building this thing, and then we discover it's going to be $350 a month to operate it, what are we going to do then? Where are we going to come up with the $20 million to pick the extra? We have time, because I want to reiterate again, the septic to sewer grant will still be there. This extra money that we were chasing was COVID related, that would have given us a whole bunch of money. We could have got $170 million instead of just $50 million. But in the future, we'll be able to get $50 million. We won't be able to get $170 million to build the whole thing, but we're not going to lose this $50 million by giving it back. That will be there if our water ever turns out to be under threat. And instead of spending all this money on a project we don't even know how it's going to come out, do the USGS study. Everybody supports that. It's only 5 years. Our water's not going to go bad in that amount of time. And we can spend that 5 years figuring out how we're going to pay for it for real. And I'll help you. I mean, like like nobody really cares what I think, but like we'll be behind you. Like instead of fighting your city on this sewer that we all, are going to fight against, we'll help you to grow 29 palms in a way that's managed and nice. So that's all I have to say. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next, April Ramirez.
Good evening, Council. This is not the first time that I speak in opposition of the wastewater treatment plant. I'm here to speak in opposition of it again for the following reasons. Number one, the proper studies on the long-term effects on health in the public have not been completed. As a gentle reminder to everyone in the public, a few months back during the Planning Commission, a licensed physician, and myself, a nurse with a background in public health in both county and state level, we both previously spoke about how making this decision to move forward impulsively without the proper studies is not in the best health interest of the public. Number two, I'm going to echo exactly what Mr. Carter said. There's nothing wrong with giving the grant money back, as there will always be more grants and there's more time. The long-term effects on health are more important, and it's important that we do the USGS studies. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, Carolee Hargrove.
Bless you. All right. I'm not against my pride. As a member of the Wastewater Committee, we did suggest going forward with this. We were hoping that we would get the $75 million. If you had the $75 million, this would be feasible. Now we have probably the best staff report I've seen since I was on the Wastewater Committee that explains everything in detail, over 600 pages though, which if you want something to go to sleep with, you can look at those maps. But I'm here to say that I would totally redact my vote, asking the council to move forward with this based on the costs. I know a lot of people here who are working 2-3 jobs. They just can't afford the $250. When we were part of the sewer committee, it was suggested it would be $60 a month. That's still high with inflation and costs of everything, but there was a way we can make that work, right? I don't think we can make this work. What I would love to see is, I'm with everybody else with the USGS study, I would also like to see, since we did see the financials tonight, or what Mr. Bowden has said about the septic to sewer program, if we could see if we could use, not the septic to sewer, I'm sorry, the septic program where we, maintenance, especially with the $37,000 that we had at Lucky Park, that would have been a blessing, right? If we could get on board and see if some of that money could go to septic tanks in the meantime. I'm not one that says government's always going to give out money. That's not how it goes, especially if California goes into a recession. You just can never bank on government money. But I think there's a way that we can do maintenance on the septic tanks. If not, maybe the city could contract with a local plumbing company, or, people maybe that took the construction trade class in plumbing, and let's look at resident septic tanks, and let's get those certified in some way that if the state did say, hey, you guys have to go to sewer, we can come back and we're being proactive and say, but wait a minute, our water's good with the study, our septic tanks look pretty good. If not, we have grants through the city, whatever that may be. So in light of the recent report, I would take back my vote. It was a real pleasure sitting on that sewer committee board. Let me tell you, that was a lot of fun. But thank you, Mr. Bowden, for this and meeting with me as well and explaining into detail. Thank you.
Thank you. Eileen Leslie. We're moving fast, though.
So we went to a lot of meetings, we had a lot of discussions. There was a lot of animosity, actually, at some of the meetings. And now seeing this final report, I'm happy to hear that so many people are against it because the numbers just aren't working for us. And while there may not always be state money, there will always be federal money, no matter if we go into recession or not. So there will be a trickle down. We need to wait to have the USGS study. I think that's really, really important. And I think we have to be really mindful of the citizens of our town. It's a hard time all over the country, everything from the economy to just how we're getting along. And I think right now, no one needs the added pressure, and we should be mindful of that. So I do want to say that I am against it, and thank you for your time.
Thank you. Don't be mad if I mess up this last name. Jonathan Hume? Hume. All right, I sounded out too far.
I'm Jonathan Hume, and I live in Desert Heights in the beautiful sphere of influence of 29 Palms. This may be a bit of an unpopular opinion, but I would still support it, or at least consider it, and I'll tell you why. There's two reasons to do sewer in 29. One is concerns about water quality, and two is for housing, specifically affordable housing. Like, if you're gonna do affordable housing, is it like one on a 2.5 acre lot? No, it's like density. You're talking 2 and 3 story housing, you know, any kind of affordable housing, that's how it gets built. And is that gonna pencil? Is any kind of affordable housing or new housing gonna pencil without sewer? No. So if you have a vision for 29, if you want to bring more people to 29, if you want to build affordable housing in 29, you have to have sewer, right? And so here's our chance for a foot in the door with sewer, a $50 million check from the state, and 29 may be about to say, hey, sorry, state, we don't want it, you know, and, you know, maybe think twice about that. You know, if you're in favor of affordable housing, this is the only way it's going to happen at any kind of scale. My understanding is by 2028, the city of 29 Palms is obliged to build or facilitate the construction of about 1,000 affordable units of affordable housing, and it's woefully behind on that. And not having a sewer is going to make that job a lot harder. So, you know, I think, you know, it should at least be considered. And the other thing is that Larry didn't share with us, you know, I don't blame you, you had a lot to plow through, but there's 200 parcels of, the sewer would serve 200 vacant parcels. And you might think like, oh, what good does that do us? You know, serving these vacant parcels, that's where the new housing could be built. With the sewer serving it, it would pencil out. Now it's not going to be built, like it won't pencil. So that's what we're turning down. And that $20 million shortfall, cities with vision make that up through bonded indebtedness. They raise the sales tax. If you have vision, that's the kind of thing you do. You go into debt, you know, and you don't worry about taking on some debt because you believe in your city. So it's at least worth thinking about. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Vino.
Thank you, Mayor, and welcome. Larry, I want to thank you for going that extra mile in the short term, working under duress to this. I also served on the sewer committee. I'm also a builder. I've worked on a lot of sewer treatment plants, small plants, domestically and internationally, and I've built internationally as well. In fact, I'm not against preventing our water, but what bothers me most is that I have businesses and houses in other cities, and I shared with city staff and the ex-city manager that my sewer treatment, cost is way lower than even the $60 that was originally presented. Now, $250, it kind of bothers me because I know people in our committee is really, struggling, and we don't want to burden them. I think what staff had proposed that if we don't take the 49 million or 50 million, we have to do the USGS study, and let's mandate that those who got septic systems get them certified. Make sure that we are not contaminating our ground. Most importantly, if we had that 50 million in 29 Palms, City of 29 Palms bank account today, and we had to give it back, I'll say, yes, we are losing something. But we don't have it yet. Do we have it in our account? So you cannot lose something you don't have. Let's wait. Let's get the proper studies done. Let's get the proper planning done, so that we can make sure our city, moving forward, is not a hodgepodge city. Even from planning commission to some of the decisions being made, I attend a lot of meetings. I see like ad hoc. It's more like an ad hoc decisions being made. 2024 is around the corner. Let's change the whole attitude and make our city beautiful. Thank you.
Back to council.
Yeah, I'm gonna go first. Okay, so I've had the great opportunity to think about all of this and all that good stuff, and I actually reminded myself when we originally started this. The reason we originally started it was because the state threw a lot of money out. They threw we was looking at 180 something million that we could get, and that was the reason we even went for it, was because the grant was there and the state was saying there was a lot of money available. She gonna be mad at me, but when we had the subcommittee meetings with the water district, Carol, she was one that was really adamant about doing the USGS study first, to even check the water quality. And so, with all of that, and with the way the state has gone down on the money, because it just constantly went down and down and down. Because originally the reason we was going for the money was because it was an opportunity for us to get the money that we needed so that it wouldn't be a burden on the citizens, because we know that our community is not a rich community. And we know that most of our citizens don't have the money, and so we would have been able to do everything, and then all they would have to pay for was services. But with the money going down, it's not that way. And so I just don't see us doing this project. I think we should just stay with doing the USGS study, just to check our water table and things like that. And I'm with, checking septic tanks and making sure they're good to go, but the money is just not there, and it's going to put a burden on our citizens. So that's where I'm at with it now.
Yes, this journey started out with a lot of money, but it also started out with we were under a time factor. We had to do certain things at a certain time, and obviously when they reduced the amount of money, it changed the whole scope. And if we even were thinking about moving the plant, that was going to even be more. So it's between all those factors, we're already $3 million short on the plant, and then we're because obviously we felt this at Project Phoenix, how it went up over the years, and then obviously at the pool was a big one, because our first estimate at the pool was 3.5, but by the time that all the things came through, it was $6 million because of all the increase in the CPI and what the contractors knew they could get from all the government contracts because of all the money that was given out by the federal government, and everyone in the country felt that. So that might even be a conservative estimate at the extra $20 million. So, and plus with the amount that this would cost the citizens, that's why I was specifically asked what would be the exact cost of, or at least an estimate of the cost of the citizens, and I wouldn't be able to I couldn't in good faith even think about that. So, but as far as the USGS study, yes, I think we should move forward with that and explore this septic tank maintenance program. So that's so I am not in favor of moving forward with this project.
Thank you for that from both my colleagues. I appreciate that. I just want to say that, our numbers are skewed here in 29 Palms. The census says we're at a population of about 30,000 people. We're really not. Half of our population resides on base, and they have their own sewer system. We're really a city of about 15,000. And so we're not the same city as Yucca Valley that is around 30,000, and they sit in a valley, right? And so it's easier for that city to have water problems than it would be for a city like 29 Palms. We just have to do the study first so we can figure out when we're expected to have these problems, and we need to plan. We shouldn't be rushing forward doing these jobs, these projects, and I've said this from day one, we shouldn't be rushing forward doing these projects without proper planning. I just knew from the jump, we're going to get this money, so we got to do it, but we never had a plan. And so that was always a concern for me. It was like, we're going to put this wastewater treatment plant next to a neighborhood, and I was like, that alone told me we don't have a plan. And so, I recommend that we look at a long-term strategy on how we can build a sewer system for this city. And I do want to make a comment, about the housing and the density and all those things. Most people that come to 29 Palms, they're not looking for that density, to be honest. They like the rural living that's here. We do want services for the city. We do want to bring in more businesses. But we need to do it smartly, and it needs to happen over time, and not just rapidly. And so I'm definitely not in favor of this plan, and I appreciate my colleagues for their support as well.
Thank you, Mayor. So when this first started out, like Mayor Min said, it was 350 million, and then it got dropped down to 175 million. We were told that we were in line to get 75 million, which would have been perfect. We would have had the money, but when they dropped it down to 50 million, and then with these numbers here that Larry gave us, I, like Danny and Octavius and McArthur and probably Steve, do not want to put that big burden on the citizens of 250, maybe up to 275 is, I think, the highest that it would go. So with that, if you don't have any comments, I'll make a motion.
Let's go. Let's get it done.
I make a motion that we do not accept the 49 million, unfortunately, and we do go after the CSGS study and also the septic maintenance program grants, so that people that can't afford to get their septics pumped and then certified can come to us for that amount of money.
Second. Second. I beat him.
Got it. I should have let you do it. I'm sorry. Sorry, you do it.
Councilmember Mintz?
Aye.
Councilmember Scott?
Aye.
Councilmember Wright?
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Klink?
Aye.
Mayor Buildering?
Aye.
Approved 5-0.
That was pretty easy. You guys want to clap, huh? Go ahead.
Yeah, I don't allow that.
All right, future council initiated items.
Yes, I do. I would like for staff to look into the JPA that we're a part of. I've been going to the meetings, but I don't see the value to 29 Palms, because all of the programs that they do are down there, Victorville, Apple Valley area, and none of the programs are up here, but we pay into it, and we don't even take our trash down there. We take our trash somewhere else.
I'll second that, because I also served on that same committee, and Beck and I both had to almost fight them, because they kept trying to include the base numbers. We were paying, the figures we were paying them was based on 30-some thousand. We all know the base has their own trash service, so Mac and I both for years had to get on them about not charging us so much money, but yes, I think we should really.
Councilmember Wright, you want to look into dissolving the membership?
Yes.
Okay.
Which JPA, the Joint Powers Authority?
Yeah, it's waste.
Solid waste?
Yeah, solid waste, yeah. We've been part of it, and like I said, I go to all the meetings, but I just don't see no value for 29 Palms.
All right, public comments. This is a time for the public to address the city council on issues within the jurisdiction of the city council that is not on the agenda. All comments are to be directed to the city council and should not consent of any personal attacks. Members of the public are expected to maintain professional courteous decorum during their comments. There's a time limit of 3 minutes per person. If you haven't already done so, please fill out a name and address slips and give it to the city clerk. The city council is prohibited by state law from taking action or discussing items not on the printed agenda. Public comments on specific agenda items will be deferred until consideration of the item on the agenda. Jen DeFalco? You have two in, ma'am. Is it for the same thing or two? Okay. We'll knock out one, and then I'll start your time over and knock out the other.
All right, thank you.
All right. It's two different subjects? Yeah.
Yes.
Hit it.
Good evening. I want to thank Councilman Wright for all that he's done here for 29 and continue to do. And congratulations to our new mayor and new mayor pro tem. My name is Jen DeFalco. I am the case manager for Morongo Basin Arch. And I just want to bring up that right now we have no funds and a lot of families that are going to be homeless by Christmas. And Astrid couldn't be here tonight, so she wanted me to mention the $7,000 that had been discussed previously about when they might be able to get that to help with those families. I think the $7,000 was left over from the homeless fund. Sorry. So, and that was the first thing I wanted to discuss. The second thing I want to bring to your attention, I do my rounds in 29 about 1 in the morning, 2 in the morning, and I check on our homeless. For the past month, some of our homeless have been beaten. 73-year-old man was beaten by a group of teenagers and sent to the high desert. The other night, these same group of teenagers went to 2 elderly women. They doused them with water, and it was very cold. I do realize that 29 Palms has a curfew time of 10 for adolescents, but it's not being followed. There's a lot of teenagers out still at those hours, and our homeless is being discriminated against. So I just wanted that brought to your attention. The other thing is here in 29, 2 homeless individuals and 1 low house individual died in the past month of fentanyl poisoning. In LA County, they do disperse Narcan to their homeless and to their low housing. And I'd like that to be looked into if we can get some Narcan, give it to our homeless in case a problem arises. By the time an ambulance or a fire truck gets to a person, it may be too late, and we have a substantial problem here in 29 at this time. Thank you. I won't keep you long. Have a good night.
Thank you. Joseph Carter.
I just wanted to say, greetings, council, and once again, congratulations. Thank you, Mayor Wright, for all your work for the past year. I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart for being the people that I knew you were, the reasonable, honest people that are working for our city, and I really appreciate it. I want to say a deep thank you. This is going to be weird, but the fact that you allowed the Satanic Temple to give the invocation, I know that was really weird for a lot of people. It was even weird for me, and I'm an atheist. But that is what this country is about, is freedom, and freedom of expression, and freedom of religion. I know they don't actually worship Satan. What they worship is the boundaries that we set in America to keep ourselves free. And that's what that stood for, and I thank you very much. And I just want to say Merry Christmas, and I look forward to working with you next year, and you won't have to see very much of me, hopefully. I hope you don't miss me too much. Thank you so much.
Miss Leanne Clark.
Thank you. As Secretary of the 29 Palms Ministerial Association, we want to thank the city, especially Parks and Rec, Carrie and Haywood, and the team over there for assisting us in setting up the gymnasium for the annual community Thanksgiving service that we held for the community on Sunday, November 19. We had about 75 in attendance and had $589 collected in the offering, which went to the Sanctuary Church Outreach Feed the Need. So they are a local nonprofit that also assists, as the young lady came up, with those in homeless situations, and as well as those who are economically challenged and are in need of food. I also want to say thank you to the city for that amazing light parade and Christmas tree lighting. I could not get over the number of people that attended that. We have not had that in a very, very long time. And so I just want to commend all of you, this council, the city staff, and the sponsors for what they did in making that happen. It was safe, it was organized, and it was absolutely phenomenal. And I do hope the business community profited from that as well, because I thought the way that was done was brilliant. And so I'm hoping that we'll have that repeat again next year. On behalf of Action 29 Palms, I do want to update everyone on mural number 9. The Johnny Hasty bus. It is not gone forever. It will be relocated. We're looking into some new methods. Technology today offers us some great opportunities, so we will be looking into that. We're working with the artist, so just stay tuned. It is not gone permanently. Also, mural number 15, Wildflowers, which is located on the Hart's Furniture Store. That mural, as you can see, part of the building is under construction. An automobile hit that side. It's the west-south part of the wall earlier this year and caused major structural damage to that wall. The structural engineer, of course, stated that there was no way to repair the wall without removing it. So that's that situation there. And of course, the removal of mural 9, as I shared in the press release, the new building owners did have a structural engineer. They are updating and upgrading that building. They are putting a lot of money into it, and I think you're going to be very pleased with what the business is going to be bringing for our community. They do have some services we don't have that are very much needed. And I also, before I close, this is our last meeting, and I just ask God to bless this city council, to bless our city staff, our city, and every individual here. Blessings over your family, your finances, and just over your businesses and everything, including our military. And may you have a beautiful, beautiful Christmas. In the name of Jesus Christ, I thank you all. God bless.
Thank you. Thomas Elkins?
Elkins.
Oh, it's you. What's up?
Sorry about my handwriting.
It's all right.
Figured I would get up and confuse y'all, because I'm usually up here talking about the advisory council that y'all figured out last time. But I wanted to get up and say congratulations, Mayor Bilderain, and thank you, Councilman Wright, for the work you've done over the last year. Specifically, with the Boy Scouts and the other organizations preparing the way for the Youth Advisory Council. We appreciate it, and I appreciate you. I want to tell you all to have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Thank you. Miss Eileen Leslie?
That's still my Boy Scout.
Still yours, huh?
I just want to start before I even read what I wrote to say that this makes me terribly uncomfortable, especially after everybody's wonderful comments. Councilman Interim Manager, as I review 2023 as it relates to the city, I am saddened to notice a theme, that of a total lack of vision for our city. There were so many opportunities wasted this year with such an interested and involved citizenry due to the larger turnout at meetings, which many of you commented on. However, many times you were neither respectful nor appreciative, and some even rude. Instead of making progress, which is nearly impossible without a vision or clear goals, the official city meetings, whether council, commission, or TBID, were wrought with confusion and ill-conceived ideas, and therefore met with resistance and division. You had pioneer citizens and newer citizens engaged, sharing their great ideas, looking for direction and seeking guidance. Yet looking back, we accomplished nothing. While I think that the previous city manager added to the chaos some of us felt, it was not entirely his fault, as that position was under your purview and control as the employer. Now, I was going to go on and give some examples, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to end with a positive note. I hope and I will pray that you will make a collective positive resolution for 2024 to find out what the vision for our city is from the citizens and implement a plan to make a happy 29. After the invocation tonight, which because of the freedom of speech in our country, I understand that, but on a personal note, I do want to add, I don't speak about my religion or my beliefs publicly, but I think now, in December, it's incumbent on me, because of that commentary, to say, I love December. We celebrate Kwanzaa. Some of us celebrate Hanukkah. Others celebrate Christmas. And I just want to say, I love Jesus Christ. I'm glad I'm hitting this city. And I think there are a lot of other Christians that feel that way. And I hope we can all come together as we all hope to achieve peace in this entire country and next year in our city. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Oh, boy. City manager's update.
Ooh. I have a few things. I would like Councilmember Elkin over there to understand that the city is, even without the city council formally discussing it, because they have told us that they are going to, we have been working in Park and Rec to get a program going again that we had in the past. So,
Councilmember Scott assured me of that earlier, and I thank you for your help in that.
all right, I just wanted you to know it was happening.
Thank you.
Because you said they forgot it, and you're not forgotten. Just so you know. I'm going to talk about the light parade, too, as a 60-year resident. It was pretty dang awesome. I was a little teary-eyed to see people back out being what 29 Palms used to be like to me. There was no division. There was no anger. There was nothing the matter. It was just a great show. People were happy. My wife enjoyed it so much, she went around to every shop there, and she spent a lot of money. So she said it's okay because I'm making some money again. So, but it really was. It was I don't know what to say. It was like something out of a movie for me. Yeah. Wow, what is going on? So I've been asked about the bridge on Split Rock. We have actually recently been approved for funding for construction. The next is hiring a project manager. The engineering is working on that right now. We expect to start in early spring. When I say we, I say the city engineer. And he said it'll take about a year to be completed. So it is in a new phase. The funding was what we've been working for. It's been 12 years. It's been 12 years. So that's all approved. They're looking for a project manager, and we'll go from there.
Thank you for that update. I was hoping you had some better news about the funding was, or at least going to be soon.
Well, the funding has been approved, so it's not in the air. It's not what we're waiting for. No more paperwork to fill out. It's coming. One other thing, the city offices will be closed the week after Christmas. So that's what I have. Thank you.
Thank you. So we got some updates for next year as I sit in this seat. Now, we're all clapping tonight. I'm glad everyone's clapping. But next year's meetings, we're not going to clap after someone speaks. Not because it's wrong. It just kind of gives us some structure because you clap because you like what they hear. Would you be happy if they booed, if they didn't like what you hear? So we're just going to kind of keep it even kill. Say what you got to say. We respect you. You get your 3 minutes. But if we're going to clap, then we're allowed to boo. So we're going to take the boo and the negative out of it, so we just won't clap to open that door for booing. Okay, that's why we kind of, but tonight's a good night. There was good clapping, I get it, but not every night's going to be clapping, all right? So we'll just keep it structured for that purposes. And once again, I would like to thank my fellow council members for not only their nomination for this position, but for trust in serving as the mayor of 29 Palms. It's an honor and privilege to serve the city of 29 Palms as your mayor once again, and I do not take the responsibility lightly. This year, we had many challenges as a community and as a council. This upcoming year will be no different. We may not always agree and see eye to eye on certain topics. However, we will tackle these challenges together, and we will respect each other while we're doing it. Going into the new year, I want to challenge everyone. I want you to hug your family and friends when you see them, wherever they are. Give them a hug. Smile and say hi to someone every day that is new to you. And hold the door open for the person behind you. I give you those 3 challenges for next year. There are 2 things we can control, our attitude and our effort, and they don't cost a thing. Let's bring back the unity and community. Let's all work together to keep and push to improve 29 Palms to the city that we all fell in love with and make our home. It's time for us to silence the negativity that surrounds us every day and to fill it positively with educated facts. I want to thank in advance the council, city employees, my family, my friends, and the citizens for the upcoming hard work and support you will be assisting me as the mayor of 29 Palms in 2024. And I want to wish you all Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year and safe. And before I adjourn this meeting, I would ask if Councilmember Wright would lead us in a prayer into 2024, giving us blessing.
Yes, delighted. Let's bow our heads and pray. Father, in the name of Jesus, we thank you for this day, God. We thank you that we were able to come together as a council and to discuss businesses for this city, God. And we thank you for blessing us to move forward into 2024 with your blessings, God. Leading and guiding us, Heavenly Father, that we will make the right decisions for this city, for this community. And God, we ask that you will bless this community to come together, Heavenly Father, and that we will all be blessed, God. And we thank you now for giving us your Son, Jesus, to die on the cross for us, Heavenly Father. We thank you for your blessings in our lives, Heavenly Father. And have your way, God. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. I'm taking a class out of Copper Mountain, so I hope it's not terrible.
No, very. I work in audio. Your projections